See, I don't read a lot of political books, but I've just read this story, and it's the successful New York Times. But 45 calls it the failing New York Times, but actually the New York Times is more successful than any of 45's businesses altogether. Maybe the best book I read last year was Bad Blood. This is coming from the person who wrote the article about the epic sham of the biotech startup Theranos and its delusional creator Elizabeth Holmes. I had trouble shaking it, and it whirred back into my mind. Um, on Wednesday, when Michael Cohen testified publicly before the House Oversight Committee and retraced a mountain of lies addressing 45's business empire and the clouds of fiction preventing any clear view of it. This country of ours doesn't like for frauds, I thought. We were probably bound to elevate one to the highest office in the land. And then in November of 2016, we did. As anyone paying close attention then knew, and anyone who finally woke up over these last few ugly days must now admit, we give the supreme prize and ultimate compliment, leadership of the most powerful nation on earth, to a man who wouldn't know the truth if it raced toward him with sirens blaring, ran over him, then backed up and did it again. Whose loyalty stand as firm as a strand of overcooked lingerie, whose identity makes narcissists look like a mere pretender, and he will sacrifice whatever and whoever he must on the altar of his own spurious magnificence. What he lacks in moral fiber, he makes up for it in guilt. It sufficed to bring him his treasure, and for 72 years and counting, spare him his reckoning. Technically, yeah. Even though this guy says there are several kinds of success stories, but there has never been any success surrounding 45 at all. Um, we emphasize the one starring brilliant inventors and earnest toilers. Those are for the people. Success stories we celebrate sweat and stamina. We downplay the schemers, the shortcuts, and the subterfuge. But for every ambitious person who has the goods and is prepared to pay his or her dues, there's another who doesn't and is content to play the con. And in the 45 era and the 45 orbit, these ambassadors of a darker side of the American dream have come to the fore, whatever the hell that means. What a con Holmes played with Theranos. For those unfamiliar with the tale, which the journalist John Carreyrou told brilliantly in Bad Blood, she dropped out of Stanford at 19 to pursue her Silicon Valley dream, intent on becoming a billionaire and then claiming the same perch in our culture and popular imagination that Steve Jobs did. She modeled her work habits and management style after his. She dressed as he did in black turtleneck. She honed a phony voice deeper than her real one. And for a long time, for a while, it worked, which was more than can be said of the product that Theranos peddled. You see, excuse me. Um, Theranos was perhaps an outlier in the scope of its deceptions, but not in the deceptions themselves. In an article, interesting word there when people call it fake. At present, a squatter whose textbook studying the psychological phenomenon of protection by which you attribute to others the flaws that you possess, use it all the time. What did he call Cohen's interchanges with the House lawmakers on Wednesday? A fake hearing, which of course, and it turned out to be 99% of it turned out to be true. What Cohen said. Dangled the prospects of celebrity and riches, and plenty of charlatans rushed forward. So it stands to reason that a country of supersized celebrity and riches would have a surfeit of charlatans, including some who see even the White House as a fair game. Cohen's testimony confirmed yet again how much pure bluster filled Trump's 45's quest and how heavily 45's entire career leaned on shadowy arithmetic, personal myth making, and intimidation. Our Errol's abundance in the quivers of Holmes and her Silicon Valley kin, but that testimony was also a reminder of how gullible their audience of how gullible his audiences are. How readily we will all believe when we perceive some benefit in the transaction. This isn't just the land of the fraud, but the home of the knaves, and Cohen implored Republican lawmakers and Trump support and 45 supporters nationwide to learn from his own credit. It takes two to be embezzled, illusionist, and enraptured. I sometimes think that when 45 came down the escalator of 45 Tower, he didn't just begin a presidential campaign. He pinched the edge of a scab on our body politic and began to tug, revealing all the racism, resentment, and partisan fury beneath it. He gave us a fresh, jolting glimpse of just how much depravity and even criminality exist among the powerful and the power mad. Look at his own collaborators, Paul Manafort, Roger Stone, David Pecker, and lesser reprobates who either still serve in his administration, Alex Acosta and Jared Kushner, or, or did until they went too far, Tom Price and Scott Pruitt. Yep, that's about what it is, yeah.